You guys all for being here in studio and out of studio. My name's Kelly, for those of you who I don't know. I used to teach here last year during quarantine, and we had such a fun time setting up our little virtual studio. And now we're here without masks, happy, healthy, all together as one, safe. So it feels really good to be back. So thank you guys for having me. We're going to go ahead and get started. So just find a comfortable position on your mat. If you're going to lay down, let's have your head facing this direction, feet towards the paintings. And if you want to stay seated, if you prefer that position to get into breath, then feel more than welcome to stay there. That goes for all of class today. If there's ever any modifications or positions that you want to take that I'm not cueing, please go for it. This is an open space. When you're on your mat, you are in charge of your body, so please enjoy whatever movements you choose. Let's just start by taking some nice deep breaths with sound added to our exhales. So start breathing in through the nose, and on the exhale, just letting out a sigh. Whatever that sounds like for you. Take a couple more. Have this next one be the best one yet. Breathing in. Allowing yourself to come into whatever breathing pattern feels natural for you. And taking note if there's any tense spots in the face, trying to relax the mouth and the jaw, the space behind your eyelids and on top of your forehead. And at first, when we enter this quiet, introspective space, there may be a little resistance that begins to bubble up. And that might start to create maybe a physical feeling within our bodies. And I'm inviting you in this moment to be the observer of all of those sensations. Once you become that observer, you notice the beautiful simplicity that is meditation or stillness. And within that simplicity, within the gaps between each thought, there's this little essence of magic. This little reminder of who or what we truly are. Different for each one of us, yet quite similar. And that peace you are so worthy of. Now let that awareness come back to breath. Take 5 more full rotations of inhales and exhales. And on your next inhale, start to expand your rib cage just a little bigger. Maybe inviting some wiggling through the fingertips and toes. Notice how once we start to invite this little bit of movement, that excitement starts to turn on. And just trying to maintain that little gap of peace in the background. Reaching the arms up overhead and taking a full body stretch. Rotating at the wrists. If you are laying down, maybe you get some ankle movement as well. If you are seated, why don't you go ahead and take a seat. We'll pull the knees into the chest, give ourselves a nice big squeeze. Nice. And you can start to rock and roll either side to side or backwards and forwards. Whatever little movements you choose. And bringing yourself all the way up into your seat when you get a chance. Turning to meet the front. Once you're in a comfortable position, allowing your eyes to close and just reestablishing whatever has kind of come loose. Bringing your palms together and rubbing them a couple times, activating the palms, the fingertips, the nerve endings in the hands. And placing the hands right over your heart. Maybe one goes down towards the belly. We'll begin our practice with a welcoming sound of Om, letting all of our vibrations be heard as individuals within the collective sound that we all bring. Starting with a cleansing breath, breathing in, letting it go. And for Om, inhale. Om. Inhale, arms sweep up. You can start to flutter your eyes open. And then just continue some of that movement through the hands. So that can be a combination of things. Wiggling the fingers, opening and closing the palms, rotation, and then giving them a nice good shake. Getting rid of all that stagnant energy. And dropping the fingertips onto your shoulders and just creating some circular movements throughout the wings, letting your shoulder blades get some movement here. You can even start to allow your fingertips to start to come off of your shoulders if you want to get a little bit more expansive. Keep engaging with that breath. Opening the arms nice and wide with the thumbs facing up. You can take your gaze a little bit higher without dropping your head all the way back. Breathing up into your chest, let your spine lengthen. And on the exhale, bring your gaze down as you bring your thumbs down and maybe even towards the back of the room a little bit. Inhale, open up those palms back to where we started. Gaze is going to lift, thumbs point up. Exhale, bringing your gaze down. Let the thumbs turn towards the back of the room. One more time. Inhale, big breath, open up. Exhale, bringing it down. Beautiful. Bringing the arms all the way back up to the sky. And on the exhale, rolling over the knees, coming into your tabletop position. Take your time to arrive. There's no rush. Make sure the knees are stacked below the hips, wrists stacked below the shoulders. On your next inhale, dropping the chest, gazing forward, lifting your eyes to the sky. Exhale, curling, tucking, rounding, pushing the floor away, coming into that cat pose. Inhales, coming back through, opening up the chest, pointing the hips to the sky. Exhale, tucking and rounding. Now that you have that breath pattern, allow yourself float in and out of each expression. We're getting that cat and cow motion through the spine. These are all natural ranges of motion. Opening up each vertebra, creating a little bit of space. Allowing your body to become more intuitive here, maybe taking a little bend in the elbows, rocking the hips from side to side as if you're wagging your tail. Maybe even dropping the head and shaking it out, yes and no. One technique is to close your eyes and really allow yourself to just let your body move. There's no rules. You are completely at home within your body. You can start to come into some hip circles, so letting the hips drop towards the right or left, swinging them towards the back of the mat and all the way forward. Perhaps it feels better to take semicircles towards the back of the mat. This is your troubleshoot in a way. It's your opportunity to meet your body where it is now. This tabletop position, it's almost an evolution that we get to go through during our class. From hands and knees, downward facing dog, to our feet. We have all of these opportunities to check in, see what our body needs. When you're ready and you've evened out those hip circles on both sides, sink your hips back, coming into a child's pose position. The farther apart the knees are, the more you're going to get into your hips. The closer the knees are together, you're going to be accessing a different range of motion for the spine, a little bit of a rounding forward that can feel really comfortable. Now in this pose, what are we doing here? Why are we here? We're taking a moment to ground down, literally bowing to this practice, bowing to our mats. This pose is always available. In my class, I like to provide hands-on assists. I have some hand sanitizer up here I'll be using in between each assist. But if you'd like to opt out of being assisted, just raise your hand so I can honor that space for you. Thank you. Taking a big, deep breath in and letting it go. Taking 3 more deep breaths here. Notice how your belly gets low to the ground with each inhale. And the hips sink back with that exhale. Coming back up into your table pose when you're ready. Making sure the fingers are spread nice and wide into the earth. Nice flat back here. So notice that your flat back is right between the arch and the curl. Keeping the left hand on the ground, inhale, reaching right fingertips up to the sky. With the exhale, bring those right fingertips, cross it through, threading your needle. We're going to take that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up, gaze follows. Exhale, twisting under. Last one, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, threading under, and hold here for a moment. If you like to sink the hips back, that's going to alleviate some of the pressure that might be building on that right shoulder. Nice. So getting into the natural ranges of motion, we got our arches and curls through the spine. Now it's time to get some twisting. So notice how your rib cage is opening up here. Last breath in and out. Inhale, unwinding you the same way you got in. So take 1 more big extension through the right hand, hold there, and then take your gaze to the ground with that right fingertip still lifted. Yes, bring your gaze back up to the ceiling and then to the ground. Bringing right hand back down to the earth. Setting up for the other side. Inhale, left fingertips sweep up. Exhale, bringing left fingertips across. We take 2 more flows. Inhale, unwinding, lengthening. Exhale, curling, threading. Last one, breathing in, harnessing that breath. Exhale, threading across and hold. Taking whatever modification or variety of this pose that you choose. Really allowing your neck to be soft here, so not pressing too much weight into the head or shoulder. Take 1 more full round of breath here. We come out of it the same way we got into it. Eventually, left fingertips reach back up to the sky. Look up. With the exhale, bringing your gaze down to the earth, getting a different stretch through that shoulder. Bringing the gaze back up last time. And then bringing the gaze down. Coming back into your tabletop position, taking any little wiggles or waggles that you need, and then dropping your right forearm down onto the earth and taking some rotations through the left leg. So almost like you are taking a little motion of opening up your hip and then rotating it back down to the earth. So we really want to open up those hips before we get into our downward facing dogs or any deeper expressions. We tend to carry a lot of tension in our hips, especially females. So just keeping that in mind, noticing if you're tight anywhere. Make sure you take it in the opposite rotation to even it out. Beautiful. And then taking that left leg, kicking it out towards the left, and then letting it land on the earth, coming back up onto the palms. We can take some back and forth presses here. So you can either stay up on your hands, sometimes dropping down onto the forearms can feel a little bit more supportive for the wrists. And the beauty of this pose is if you find a sweet spot along the way, you can linger there for a moment and send some deep breath into that tight location of the hip. I'm sure you'll find one, maybe towards the back of your mat or even reaching forward a little bit. Take 1 more full round of breath here, enjoying each inhale to its full capacity and exhaling all the way through. Bringing yourself back up, but keeping that left leg out to the side. Use your core strength to pull yourself to a standing gate position. Arms reach up. On the exhale, dropping left fingertips down. Right arm reaches up and over. Again, you can play with your edge here a little bit. Inhale's lifting you up just a smidge. Exhale's getting a little bit deeper. Yes, so that breath is our tool in yoga. We never want to play against it. It'll always win. Coming all the way back to center, take a nice deep stretch up to the sky. Exhale, hands plant, and that left knee comes back to center. This time dropping left forearm down to the ground, using right hand as a little bit of a kickstand, and then taking some movement through that right leg. So taking those circles, you can have a point or flexed foot, or even start to rotate through the ankle a little bit here. It's almost like tapping your head and rubbing your belly. Make sure you even it out by switching rotation. So the body is not always symmetrical, but we like to treat it as such. Make sure we get even on both sides. When you're ready, kicking that right leg out and then letting right foot land to the earth. You can come up onto your palms if you choose, and taking those back and forth presses. Now, when we bring so much attention into one spot of the body, right now we're getting a lot of sensation through the hips. Take a moment to check in, make sure that you're not tensing up through the jaw or letting the head become super heavy and stressing the neck out. If you find that sweet spot along the way, you can send some delicious breath there. When you're ready, coming back up onto your palms, right knee stacks below right hip once again, and take a little side to side wags through the tail. Tucking the toes under, lifting the hips up and back, downward facing dog when you're ready. Taking your time to arrive. You can stay in, oh yes, gate pose. Amy, yay! Come back to your tabletop position. We need that side stretch on the other side. So we get to kick that right leg out one more time. Using your abdominals to lift back up, reach your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, let the right fingertips drop, left arm reaches up and over. So getting that opening through the left side body. Remember, inhales can take you off your edge just a touch. Exhales, deepening in. One more full round. Coming all the way back to center. Exhale, hinging from the hips, bowing forward, hands come to the ground, and that right knee comes back. Now we'll tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, find your downward facing dog. Start to pedal out the feet. You can rock the hips from side to side. Start to feel that energy start to rise a little bit. Maybe you even take some little kind of like bunny hops through the heels, bouncing up and down. Notice the sweat starting to turn on. All of that detoxification starting to take place here. Rolling the shoulders down and away from the ears, almost as if you're like a little turtle poking its head out of its shell. That's the kind of energy you want from the neck and shoulders. A little bend in the knees, allow those hips to come back and up a little bit. Coming into some back and forth presses. So with the inhale, dropping the knees, let the hips come towards the back of the mat. We're hovering here. Exhale, pressing forward into your plank pose. Make sure the shoulders do not go past the wrist. Inhale, pick the hips up and back, coming into that crouch downward dog position. Exhale, pressing forward to your plank. Take a couple of these motions here. If this is a little challenging, you can always drop the knees to the ground. You're getting just the same effect with just a little more support. The next time you come into your plank pose, notice if your elbows are hyperextending and give yourself a little bend there. Nice. Beautiful. Take one more full round at your own pace, and then we'll meet in our plank pose. Hold and pause there for a moment. Remember, the knees are your friends if you need to put them on the earth. Now imagine I'm coming by. I'm taking my hand right on top of your upper back. Press into my hand. Breathe in. On the exhale, take your knees to the earth, but maintain integrity through your core. Chest follows as the elbows point back. Engaging the shoelace sides of the feet to the earth. On your next inhale, lift the chest up. Keep the chin tucked. Cobra position. Exhale, release. One more cobra. Inhale, peel it up. Squeeze the glutes. Knees are off the earth because thighs are so engaged. Exhale, release. Pressing your way back to your table pose. And then finding your downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, in and out. Remember, the more we try to fight with our breath, the harder the flow becomes. That breath is the flow. Movement is secondary. We'll run through some sun salutations a little bit faster here. So on the inhale, bend the knees. We're going to gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. Pause, take a bend in the knees, give yourself kind of a little bounce here just to really relax through the lower back. You can come into a ragdoll position, grabbing opposite elbows if that helps you surrender into your forward folds. Never stressing the hamstrings. Make sure we have a little bit of bend in those knees. Shaking the head, yes and no. If you're in a ragdoll position, release your hands back down. They might reach the earth. Bringing your fingertips to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. So we're lengthening the crown to the front of the room. Nice flat back. And fold. Inhale, slowly rolling your way to the top. Hands reach up. And exhale, pull all of that energy down to your heart. As you close your eyes, Inhale, opening your arms up, reaching them towards the sky, imagining you're creating this big blue bubble with your hands. Exhale, pull that energy to your heart center, all that love, all that light. One more time, inhale, fill that bubble you're creating with your hands with so much love. And exhale, deliver it as a gift right to your heart. Opening the eyes, inhale, arms sweep up one more time, maybe even a slight back bend if you bring your gaze to your fingertips. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift, pull the abdominals in. Exhale, fold, hands plant, step it back to your plank pose. Setting up your plank here, nice and strong from the crown to your heels, breathing in. Exhale, lowering halfway as the elbows point back. Inhale, coming to your upward facing dog, or you take that cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. That is our chaturanga flow. There's many variations, so please choose what's best for you. Those knees can always come to the ground, and you can always just skip it or add push-ups. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, prepare. Exhale, walk or hop, front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, nice and strong. Use those leg muscles, press the feet into the earth, rooting. Exhale, hands to heart, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Planting your hands, stepping back, plank pose. Squeeze through the glutes. This is a full body position. Breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga, lower to your degree, and then the inhale is an opportunity. Open that heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice, Judy. 2 breaths here. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Coming into a little bit deeper of a fold if you choose here, either staying in that ragdoll pose or maybe coming into a gorilla pose where you take your palms underneath your feet, knuckles are on the earth. And you can even kind of give yourself a little hand massage here by pressing your toes into your hands. Wherever you are, make sure the head and neck are relaxed. Getting some nice openings through the hamstrings here. Feet can be together or hip width distance apart. If you did come into that gorilla pose, go ahead and release your hands. Maybe flick the fingers a couple times. Inhale, come back to that halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly rise all the way to the top. Bring your fingertips up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Grounding down through the left foot, pulling right knee in towards the chest. Right? Nice. Keep that foot nice and flexed, and we're just going to use our hip flexor strength to keep that leg lifted. Squeezing through your standing leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. Finding that balance. It's okay if it's wobbly. Inhale, breathe in. On the exhale, slowly and with control, hinging from the hips, sending the toes back, and landing in a crescent lunge. Arms reach up overhead once you get there. In your crescent lunge, that back toe is grounded into the earth, heel is lifted. Take a slight bend in the right knee. That way your hips go from a backwards position to tucked underneath the body. Nice. If balance is a little tricky, you might want to open up your stance a little bit so that you're not on a railroad track. Coming in and out of some twists here. Inhale, lift up out of your waist just a bit. Exhale, bend into the knees, twist open to the ballet bars. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, twisting to the left. 3 more times. In and twist. 2. And 1. Twisting and holding here. So notice when you bend through the knees, you can allow your body to twist a little deeper. So that right rib cage opening and twisting towards the left. One more deep breath, breathe in. Exhale, maybe drop just a little lower. Yes! Inhale, lift up, coming out. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Now with nice, beautiful concentration and ease for yourself, planting your weight into the left foot, pull right knee back into the chest. Nice. And land right foot to the earth. Inhale, circle sweep those arms up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant those hands down, step back. Our favorite pose is plank pose. Breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga, lower to your degree. Inhale, upward facing dog. Take that gorgeous breath into the lungs. Exhale, downward facing dog. What a celebration movement is. Enjoy every second of it. Yoga is such a wonderful interpretation for how temporary life is. And there's peace within that temporary nature of life. That means that no challenging thing you're going through right now is permanent, just like those plank poses. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet. Lift yourself all the way up. Spread the arms wide. Exhale, hands to heart center. This time, grounding down into the right foot, pulling left knee in towards the chest. Remember, we're using that strength through the hip flexor. Challenge your balance here. Get used to the little bit of wobbling. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale slowly and with control. You're in no rush. Let's send that left foot back and land in your crescent lunge. Once you land, adjust, make yourself comfortable. Remember, if your feet are on a thin tightrope, you're going to have a hard time balancing. If you open it up a bit, now you have much stabler position. Keep a bend in that back left leg. That way the hips tuck underneath. Beautiful. Breathing in, lift up out of your stretch a little bit. Exhale, bend and twist to the right. Inhale, lift in, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, bend and twist. Last 3 times, inhale. Exhale, twist. Every time getting a little deeper. Last one. And twist. Hold here. Have the arms reaching back. If that's not comfortable for your shoulders, that right arm can always take a half bind. Bend through the hips a little bit more. Notice if you're kind of bringing your chest forward. Instead, take a bend through the knees and let your chest or your shoulders stack on top of hips. Nicely done. Last breath. Exhale, maybe a little lower. Inhale, coming back to center. Reach up. Exhale, hands to heart, ground back down, bring the intention to the right foot and pull left knee back into the chest, back where we started, and left foot grounds down. Inhale, circle sweep up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, step it back or take a hop, plank pose. Breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll be in this downward facing dog for 3 to 4 breaths. If you need to take a child's pose or a quick sip of water, go for it. And then we get to regroup back together. Once you've had your fill, we'll meet back in downward facing dog, knowing that you can always jump back in whenever you are ready. Taking a collective breath, breathe in and out. Inhale, right leg reaches up and back. With the exhale, bend the knee and open up the hip. So you can even take some circles here if that's better for you, finding some range of motion rather than holding a static position. If you are holding a static position, try to maintain even weight distributed in both hands and shoulders, keeping the chest pointed to the earth. One more breath here, in and out. Inhale, re-extend right toes back to the paintings. Inhale. Exhale, pull the knee into the chest. Pause, squeeze. Inhale, lift it back up. Squeeze the glute, extend. Exhale, knee to chest, stepping to your runner's lunge. Right foot goes over towards right thumb. Nice. From here, lifting your chest off of your right thigh just a touch, pulling your arms back. So palms face the ground, fingertips pull back. Imagine I have a string at the top of your head and I'm pulling it towards the front of the room. So with that back left heel, there's energy moving backwards. With the crown, energy moving forwards. Notice that contrast effect here. It's stretching through your spine. Enjoy it. This temporary pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, rise. Find that crescent lunge. And with the exhale, dial left heel down, opening up to your warrior two. Your feet are not stuck in cement, so go ahead and adjust. Find what position works best for you. The important part of this posture is that right knee tracks with right ankle. Back of the left foot pressing for the back of the room, right toes pressing for the front of the room, feeling as if you're ripping the mat apart. Now for the hips. Some of us like to bring those hips out. Try to bring those hips right below shoulder line. Holding here, you might bring your gaze towards the front mirror. Notice if you're kind of arching your back. Try to tuck everything in line. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, flip right palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, dropping right palm, extend your warrior. We'll take two more of those. So inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. Dancing that warrior. Connecting with your breath. The next time you reverse your warrior, lengthen through that right leg. Maybe the toes point up, so you're resting on the heel, a little challenging on the balance. Notice if you're collapsing into that left side body, imagine there's a string on your chest and it's reaching up and then to the back of the room. One more big breath here. Inhale. With the exhale, come back to that side angle. So get back into the bend of that right leg. Yes, holding here, breathing in, trying to rotate the rib cage. Yes, beautiful. Take two more breaths in and out. Inhale, come up, out of it, coming into your star pose, bringing the feet towards the ballet bars, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, opening the arms into a T as you hinge from the hips, coming into a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. This is the fun part. This is your pose for the next 5 breaths. You can take any different variation if you like to grab the outsides of the feet, shins, thighs, coming into some Skandasanas. Nice, Gloria. Now this can go as deep or as restorative as you choose. This is the beauty of this class. We come and we flow together, but it looks different on each mat. It's the camaraderie within that individualism. Take one more deep breath here. And out. Coming into a halfway lift. And then walking your hands towards the back of your mat, coming into a runner's lunge on your left leg. Beautiful. Keeping the right hand planted maybe on a block and reaching left fingertips up to the sky, taking a runner's lunge twist. Now, if you want to challenge yourself here, you might even just hover those right fingertips on the earth, and you're using your entire lower body to keep yourself lifted, and those core muscles are engaging. One more full breath here. On the exhale, letting the left fingertips come back to the ground, and then extending through left leg, coming into a pyramid position. So you might want to step that back right foot a little bit closer. If you prefer to have the entire right foot planted, that's a beautiful expression of pyramid pose. But sometimes it might feel nice to just be up on the toes as well if that back hamstring is super tight. So just keep that in mind. Let your head be heavy, shaking the head yes and no. One more full round of breath. Coming back into that runner's lunge, so you might need to step that right foot back. We'll walk the hands back over to the right, coming into that wide-legged fold one more time, and then walking all the way to the front, runner's lunge on your right leg. Lifting up, finding that crescent lunge. Hands come to heart, hinging yourself forward, and then lifting the back left feet. Nice. If you choose for balance, it might feel nice to interlace the fingers and keep them on top of right thigh. If you want to challenge your balance, open the arms towards the back of the room. Turbulence is to be expected. What can we do to help that? Squeeze through left glute. Imagine that left heel is trying to press against the wall behind you. Now bring some intention into those hips, level them out. One more full round of breath, I believe in you. And exhale, come back to that crescent lunge, arms reach up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, plant the hands on the earth. Step that right foot back to meet left, plank pose, one full breath in. Exhale, chaturanga, slowly lower with control. Exhale, upward facing dog. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. Yes, this is our opportunity to regroup, refocus, and get ready for the next side. Inhale, left leg sweeps up to the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Perhaps you take some circles. Perhaps it looks a little bit more still. Wherever you are, make sure that you're pressing evenly into both hands, shoulders, pointing towards the earth, or armpits, I guess. Inhale, re-extend that left leg, squeeze left glute. Feel that left glute turn on. Exhale, pull the knee into the chest. Inhale, re-extend, really squeeze left glute. Exhale, pull the knee into the chest, step to that runner's lunge, left toes towards left thumb. When you're ready, lifting the chest off just a smidge, reaching those arms back, coming into that airplane runner's lunge. Now, the crown of the head extending forward, so there's this opposite of energy. There's a pulling towards me, but there's a pushing towards the back of the room. So find that edge. Strengthen through the spine. Fire up the core. One more full round of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise to that crescent lunge. And then dial right heel open to your warrior 2. Nice. Facing the mirrors now. Making sure the shoulders are relaxed down and away from the ears. And then noticing if that left knee is going past left ankle. Try to stack the joints. Oftentimes in yoga, we're trying to stack the joints. This means that we're going to be using our muscular system rather than relying on our joints to keep us lifted. That back right foot, very influential. The more you push it back, the better it's going to feel, the stronger it's going to become. Inhale, flip left palm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extend your warrior. We dance between these 2 positions 2 more times. An opportunity to connect back to that breath. That fire within your heart. Harness it. Use it for each posture. Next time you reverse your warrior, lengthen through the left leg. You can come up so that you're on the heel if you choose. It's going to challenge balance a little bit. Feel that opening through the left side body. Now remember, that chest is going to want to kind of fall forward. We want to open it up as if it's reaching for the ceiling. Exhale, coming into your side angle, holding that position there, keeping a nice deep bend into that left knee without stressing the joints. And now notice if your right shoulder is hinging forward. Imagine that you're opening up your rib cage towards the front mirror or side mirror. 2 more full rounds of breath. Keep ripping that mat apart with your feet. Isn't it wonderful to feel how strong you are? 1 more. Coming all the way up into your star pose, bringing those toes to face me. Take a moment here to just send the hips over to the right and then over to the left. Yeah. Reaching all the way up. And then we're going to bring the heels in, toes out, goddess pose. If you like, for a moment, you can kind of place your hands on the thighs and just kind of get into your goddess squat. This is a very big hip opener here, so if yours looks more like this, a little bit more up, that's great as well. When you're ready, we'll solidify what this posture looks like. So we want, again, the knees to be stacked with ankles, so make sure you're not too kind of in. You want to be more out, rather. And then notice, you can take a look in the front mirror. Notice if your hips are kind of pointed back, you want to tuck those hips underneath you. Now let's get some sound into the room. So on the inhale, we're going to reach forward. Exhale, ha! In. Ha! 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 2 more. Ha! Last one. Ha! Inhale, lift up. Bringing the toes back to center and hands to heart. Feel that energy that just bubbled out of you. Noticing where it stemmed from. And whatever it is, embracing it. Inhale, arms sweep up, flutter your eyes open. Exhale, hinging from the hips, wide-legged forward fold. So a nice U-turn from that intense goddess pose. Notice how the fire is still moving within you. Shake the head, yes and no. Take 2 more full rounds of breath in and out. Yeah, we'll take more than 2. It's pretty yummy down here, huh? I tell you what, the hot yoga in Denver just doesn't have the same humidity. You can't get a sweat like a Mystic Fitness sweat. When you're ready, coming into your halfway lift. If you're in the middle of something really delicious, though, stay as long as you choose. And then walking the hands to the back of the mat, coming into your runner's lunge on the right side. Left fingertips plant either on the earth or on a block as you reach the right fingertips up to the sky, coming into that twist. If you'd like to challenge yourself, float those left fingers so that you're literally only using the strength of your body to keep you lifted. Notice if the hips are pressing out to the right, and try to stack that right hip on top of, in line with right knee. Last breath here, breathe it in, feel the strength of your body. Exhale, coming out of your twist, coming into your pyramid pose, so lengthening that right leg. Perhaps you step the left foot a little bit closer to the front of your mat. Make sure hips are still, our feet are still hips width distance wide, if not a little bit more. Sometimes it feels good to have a wider stance. You're going to access maybe some of the inner thigh more in that case. Remember, A healthy bend through the knees will protect your joints. Shake the head yes and no, let it be heavy. Find that bend back into the right knee, perhaps stepping that left foot back just a touch, walking the hands back over towards the left, coming into that wide-legged forward fold, and then walking all the way back to the front. Left foot is forward. Inhale, lifting up to your crescent lunge, hands to heart center. And then when you're ready, hinging forward just a touch, lifting right toes up off the ground. If you need a little support, interlaced fingers on left thigh can be super helpful. Now, how do we maintain this pose? This is the temporary nature of life we were talking about. Are you having a challenging moment here? Yes. Is it going to last forever? I mean, no. We got this for 3, 2, 1. Landing the left toes back to the ground, coming back into your crescent lunge, reach up. Exhale, hinging from the hips, hands plant. Stepping that foot back to your plank pose. We're going to hold here for 3 breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. Remember, those knees are always there for you if you choose, but try to stick it out for 1 more full round. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Just let your chest land, arms reach alongside of you. This is a good place if you need a drink of water. Take a moment. You can bend the knees and windshield wiper, legs side to side. A moment to regroup. Notice all of the wonderful accomplishments that you've already made today. On the 4th of July, look at us in here, sweating it out in the morning. It's going to allow so much peace for the rest of your day. If you're taking those windshield wipers, go ahead and relax the legs back down to the earth. We're going to take a reverse push-up to get ourselves back up into a plank pose. If you need to keep those knees on the ground, please do so. Bring the hands back below the chest. Tuck the toes under. Inhale. With a forcible exhale, press yourself back up and find your downward facing dog. Woo! Those reverse push-ups are not easy. Take 1 more big breath here. And out. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. Staying here, you can take blocks underneath the hands if you choose. We're going to find a standing split, so go ahead and reach the left leg up and back. You can take a deep bend through that standing right leg. Drop your head so it's nice and heavy. Try not to hold any tension through the back of the neck. And try flexing that flying left foot. That way we can ensure those hips are level. Nice. 1 more full round of breath here. And we're going to get a little funky here. We're going to take that left knee behind right knee and come to a seat. Yep. Nicely done. So in your seat, if this isn't comfortable, you can always come and extend that left leg long and just cross that right leg over. But if you like, we're going to come into, I think it's Gobakasana? So the knees are going to be stacked. Nice. And you can kind of wiggle yourself so that the hips are level here. Beautiful. Inhale, arms sweep up. And with the exhale, we're just going to bring our hands down. Now, this might be enough for you to stay right here, or you might want to inch yourself forward and drop the head. If this is not comfortable, again, you can always lengthen that left leg and hug right knee into the chest. You're going to get a very, very similar stretch. Yeah. So we're opening up through the hips. Nice deep stretch. Utilizing each inhale to come off of your edge. And exhale, going a little bit deeper. One more full round here. Beautiful. Slowly coming out, lifting your way up. And now here's where it's going to get funky. And guess what? We're going to make mistakes, but it's going to be super fun. You're going to come to a standing position, and you're going to walk yourself to the right all the way. And then once you come back forward, you're going to be on the opposite side. Yes, I love it. Let's make mistakes. It's all good. Yeah. It's like a cool dance move that you can use now. And if that didn't work, you know where to go. So the right leg is on the bottom, left knee is on top. But again, if that's not comfortable, right leg is forward. We're pulling left knee into the chest. Yeah, we just learned a dance move. It's pretty cool. The first time I did it, I got stuck like 6 times. I was like, wait, what? So from here, just give yourself a moment to regroup, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, you can crawl yourself forward if you choose. And if you are in a more seated position, just hug that knee into the chest. And yoga isn't about the destination, just like what we just experienced. It's not about the destination. It's really about enjoying the journey along the way. Take 2 more deep breaths in and out. Slowly lifting yourself out of this posture. No more funky stuff on this side, I promise. We'll slowly crawl ourselves forward, come into our table pose, and then lift up so that you're in that forward fold once again. We're going to take our standing split on the other side. So this time the left foot stays planted, reach the right foot up to the sky. Yes. We'll be here for about 3 breaths, so just take whatever variation you took on the other side. Gorgeous. Remember, if you keep that right foot flexed, it'll help keep those hips level. 1 more round of breath. And exhale, bringing that foot back to the ground. Opening your feet so that they're out towards the outer edges of your mat. Taking a little bit of a open leg forward fold here. Shake the head yes and no. If you like, you can come into a squat position, so opening the toes out to the side and letting your hips sink into a malasana squat. If that's not comfortable for you, you can also consider just bringing your hands right on top of the thighs like this and just taking a nice deep seat. Wherever you are, we'll be here for 3 breaths if you choose. If you are in that malasana pose, try not to sink really deep into your hips, but instead engage the inner thighs a little bit to keep yourself just a little bit lifted. Especially for us who are already pretty flexible, we want to try to strengthen that muscular system. Beautiful. Plant your hands down to the ground. Bring your knees to the earth. Swing the legs forward. Plant your feet onto the earth so that your legs are in a 90-degree angle. Then we're going to take a slow and controlled ride down. So reach your arms forward. And with each exhale, go back an inch. Hold for the inhale. Exhale back. I know. Exhale back. Hold for the inhale. Exhale back. Inhale, hold. Exhale back. I think we got 1 more in us. Inhale. Exhale. All the way down. Reach your arms. Oh yes, let's turn. So our feet. Still working on the new technology here. Beautiful, yeah. Feet towards the back. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Rock from side to side. Giving yourself a little love. Keeping right knee pulled into the chest, lengthen left leg down the length of your mat. If that's too intense, you can always bring left foot onto the earth so that you have a bent knee. Wind removing pose. Pull that right knee in towards the chest. Avoid the rib cage by letting the knee go out to the right just a touch. Again, each inhale and exhale allowing you to go a little bit deeper. We'll take this into our twist, so bringing that right leg up and over to the left. If you need to bring a block underneath right knee, that can provide a little bit of support so it's not just hanging out in mid-space. Another option is to bend both knees and stack them. Coming back to that beautiful breath, we'll be here for several. How much heavier can you allow your body to get? Notice the shift in energy. Yoga is like this beautiful story. A gentle beginning. A little bit of fire and conflict in the middle. And then the end is just this finale of emotion, connection. When you're ready, coming back to center, pulling both knees into the chest, give them a squeeze. Keeping left knee pulled in, lengthen right leg down, that wind removing pose. Remembering to take any variations. Is there anything that you're continuing to hold on to that you can offer up? And that breath assisting you along the way. Taking it into your twist. Remembering that any modifications you did on the right side are again available to you on the left side. Bring your attention to your chest. Is it open or contracted? Without judgment, just be witness. One more full round here. Pull both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And the next 4 breaths are for you to choose if there's any other poses or movements, perhaps a happy baby, grabbing onto the feet, pulling the knees towards the armpits, maybe a waterfall position, lengthening the legs up towards the sky to hover there. Maybe an early Shavasana is more your jam. And when you're ready, once you're even on both sides, allow yourself to just float into stillness. Breath now louder and more connected than ever. Inhales, I am. Exhales, here. Taking a deep breath in and letting it all go. Whatever is arising within you is valid and welcome. As you continue to expand your breath, bring some gentle movement back into your physical body, letting your awareness float back from wherever it drifted to. Perhaps reaching the arms up overhead and finding that full body stretch. What has shifted? What has remained? Pulling the knees into the chest, give yourself a big squeeze. Rocking onto the right or left side. The right side symbolizing our divine masculine, and the left side symbolizing our divine feminine. When you're ready, slowly lifting your way back to a seat. We'll all face the center of the room. If you are still enjoying laying down, you can remain wherever you are. Bringing your hands back to heart. Really feel your heart. It's this little oasis within you. And within this oasis is a peace that is completely unique to you. And no one can take that peace away from you, no matter how hard they try. It is yours, and it is sacred. Closing our practice with a sacred sound of Om, taking a cleansing breath first, breathing in. And for Om, inhale. And that first breath after our Om symbolizes a bright new beginning. I thank you all so much for being a part of each other's practice as well as mine. And this temporary body but infinite heart bows to you and says namaste. Thank you guys so much. It was wonderful to be back. I'm here for a couple more days if anyone's interested in getting a one-on-one sound bowl healing. I also provide Reiki, or even just some, beach yoga or something. Reach out to me. I have some cards up here. So thank you all so much. I feel really honored to be back teaching with Amy and Mystic, and feels right. So thank you guys. Can't wait till next time.